Generosity is more than giving money or things. It is a way of living. It is a way of seeing the world. When we choose to give, we open our hearts. We step out of our small self and connect with something larger. In Buddhist tradition, generosity is the first of the 6 perfections. It is the beginning of the path. Why? Because it softens the ego. It helps us see that we are not alone. We live with others. We depend on others. Giving reminds us of that truth. When we give, we learn to care. We start to notice the needs of people around us. Maybe someone needs help carrying something. Maybe someone needs to be heard. These are small things, but they matter. Each act of giving is like a seed. When we plant many seeds, the garden grows. Some people think they have nothing to give. But giving is not about being rich. It is about intention. A kind word, a little time, a smile. These are all forms of generosity. Even giving space for someone else to speak can be a gift. When we give, something changes in us. We feel lighter. We feel more alive. The heart grows warm. The mind becomes calm. Giving is not only for others, it is also for ourselves. It brings peace. But we must be careful. If we give only to look good or to receive something back, then it is not true generosity. True giving is without demand. We give because it is good. We give because it feels right. We give because life is short, and every moment is a chance to love. There is no perfect way to give. Sometimes we will make mistakes. That is okay. What matters is that we try. We learn from the heart. We learn by doing. In the end, generosity is not a rule. It is not a duty. It is a joy. It is something that grows as we walk the spiritual path. And the more we give, the more we realize we already have enough. True generosity asks for nothing in return. It is free, like the wind. It moves without needing praise, reward, or even thanks. This is not easy for many of us. We live in a world where we are taught to expect results. If we give something, we want something back. But on the spiritual path, we learn to let go of this idea. When we give with expectation, our giving becomes a trade. It is no longer pure. We think, if I help this person, maybe they will help me later. Or, if I give money, people will think I'm good. These thoughts may come naturally, but they tie us down. They keep us small. Letting go of expectation takes practice. At first, it may feel strange. You may give something and no one notices. You may offer your time and the other person forgets to say thank you. But this is where the teaching lives. In that quiet space, you can see your own heart. You can ask, why did I give? Was it for them or for me? Over time, you may notice a shift. You give because it brings peace. You give because it feels true. Whether someone sees it or not, no longer matters. The act itself is enough. That is real freedom. Sometimes we give and feel disappointed. That is okay. We are human. We notice the feeling, but we do not follow it. We return to the simple joy of giving. Even a small act, done without need, can shine brightly. This kind of giving changes the world in quiet ways. People feel it. They may not say anything, but they remember. One kind act, done without a reason, can touch someone deeply. It can stay with them for a long time. And maybe one day they will pass it on. Generosity without expectation is not weak. It is strong. It is clear. It comes from a deep place inside us. A place beyond fear, beyond ego. Each time we give in this way, we polish the heart. And little by little, the light inside us grows. Many people think generosity is only about money or gifts. But the deepest kind of giving is not always something you can hold in your hands. It comes from your presence, your attention, your care. It is something felt, not just seen. Sometimes we cannot give much in material things. Maybe we are not rich. Maybe we have our own troubles. But that does not mean we have nothing to offer. In fact, the most precious gifts are often the simplest. Time, patience, a quiet moment shared with someone who feels alone. When we stop thinking only about objects, we begin to see new ways to give. A gentle look can bring comfort. Listening to someone, fully and without interruption, can be healing. These acts are not small. They are deep. They show that we see the other person, not as a problem to fix, but as a human being worthy of care. In this world, many people feel unseen. Even when surrounded by others, they may feel invisible. Your attention, true, kind attention, can be a gift greater than gold. You don't need to say much. Just being present, just being there, can say everything. Generosity is also about understanding. Sometimes we judge too quickly. But when we give someone the benefit of the doubt, when we choose to be kind instead of right, we are giving them space to be human. This is also a gift. Even silence can be generous. In a world full of noise, choosing to be quiet with someone, to share stillness, can be a deep offering. It says, I am with you. I don't need to fill the space. Your presence is enough. So let us not limit generosity to what we can buy or hold. Let us expand it. Let us see it in every moment, in every breath, in every choice we make. When we live this way, giving becomes natural. It becomes part of who we are, not just what we do. And in doing so, we discover a great truth. When we stop focusing on things, we begin to feel more full. Not full of stuff, but full of life. In today's world, many things move fast. People are busy. Minds are full. It is easy to feel rushed, even when we try to be kind. But real generosity asks us to slow down. It asks us to be present. Presence is not just being in the same room. It means truly being there, with your body, your heart, and your mind. When you give someone your full attention, you are offering something very rare. You are saying, you matter. I see you. We often think we have to do something big to be generous, but simple actions, done with care, can be powerful. Giving someone a drink of water, holding a door, or writing a short message can touch the heart, if we do it with presence. When our attention is divided, even a gift can feel empty. For example, imagine giving a friend a birthday present, but checking your phone the whole time. The object is there, but the meaning is lost. Now imagine sitting down with that same friend, looking into their eyes, and saying, I'm happy you were born. That presence is the real gift. To give with attention means we are not thinking about ourselves. We are not waiting for thanks. We are not planning what to say next. We are simply there, open, calm, and kind. Sometimes we feel we have nothing left to give. We are tired, stressed, or sad. But even in those times we can offer our presence. We can listen. We can breathe with someone. We can stay close, without trying to fix anything. That alone can be healing. Presence is a practice. We forget often. That is normal. But each time we remember to return to this moment, each time we give someone our true attention, we build a deeper kind of generosity, one that cannot be measured, but can always be felt. Let us remember, the world does not need more things. It needs more presence, more quiet kindness, more moments where we pause, look into each other's eyes, and say without words, I'm here with you. This is how we give not only with our hands, but with our whole being. Many people wait for the right time to do something meaningful. They think, I'll give when I have more money, or I'll help when I'm less busy. But the truth is, the smallest acts, done now, can create the deepest connections. A simple act can change a moment. Holding a door, offering a seat, sharing a meal. These things may seem small, but they carry a quiet power. They show another person, you are not alone. Someone sees you. And that is something we all long for. Sometimes people think connection needs big emotion or deep conversation. But real connection often begins with something simple. A kind word, a steady presence, a warm gesture. These are the roots of trust, and trust grows slowly, one moment at a time. When you offer a small kindness, you are not just helping someone, you're opening a bridge. You invite the other person to feel safe, to feel human, to feel part of something shared. That is how community begins, not with big plans, but with small actions repeated with care. These moments are easy to miss. Life moves fast, but when we pay attention, we see chances to give everywhere. A neighbor struggling with bags, a stranger looking lost, a child needing comfort. In these moments, we can choose to connect instead of turning away. You may never know how much your act meant to someone. They may never say anything, but it stays with them, just as acts of kindness from the past stay with you. Think about it. Is there a small moment you still remember? A time when someone helped you in a quiet way? That memory still lives in your heart. This is the power of small generosity. It moves through time. It spreads from one person to another. It creates a web of care, strong and invisible. It doesn't shout. It whispers. And in that whisper, there is something sacred. So do not wait for the perfect time, the perfect act, the perfect words. Just begin. Give what you can, where you are, with a gentle heart. These are the steps that lead to deep connection and to a life filled with meaning. To live generously is to live with an open hand. This means not holding too tightly to what we have or to what we think we need. It means trusting that we can share what we have and that we will still be okay. An open hand is not weak. It is not careless. It is strong and relaxed. It gives freely, and it also receives with humility. When we live with an open hand, we stop asking, "What do I get?" and begin asking, "What can I offer right now with what I have?" This practice does not require a special place or time. It begins in ordinary moments. When we are cooking, cleaning, walking, working, we can carry this spirit of giving. We can look around and ask, is there something I can share in this moment? Sometimes it's just our attention. Sometimes it's our time. Sometimes it's simply our willingness to be kind, even when we're tired. Living with an open hand also means letting go of control. We often want to manage everything, our day, our feelings, the people around us. But generosity teaches us to relax that grip. When we let things flow, when we stop trying to own every moment, we find more peace. We allow life to surprise us. There will be days when we feel closed. That's natural. We all have fear. We worry about the future. We want to protect ourselves. In those moments, we can pause and breathe. We can ask gently, can I soften? Even a little. Can I open my hand? Just for this moment? Little by little, we learn. We begin to notice how much we already have. We begin to trust that giving does not take something away. It adds something to our lives. And we begin to see that an open hand leads to an open heart. In daily life, this practice may not be loud. It may not be seen by many, but it shapes who we are. It helps us become the kind of person others feel safe around. The kind of person who brings calm and warmth into a room. That is the quiet strength of generosity, lived one day at a time. If we look closely, nature is always giving. The sun gives light without asking for thanks. The trees offer shade, fruit, and clean air. Rivers flow, giving water to all who come near. Nature gives because it is its nature to give. It does not hold back. It does not choose who is worthy. There is something deeply wise in this. Nature does not expect reward. It simply shares what it has, and in doing so, it supports life. We can learn from this quiet example. We too can give in a natural way, without pride, without fear, without keeping count. When we walk in the forest or sit near the ocean, we often feel calm. Why? Maybe because we are surrounded by something generous and steady. Nature is not trying to impress us. It is simply being itself. And that truth touches something deep inside us. We don't need to be perfect to give like nature. Even a tree with broken branches still gives shelter. Even a cloudy day brings light. We all have limitations. We all have pain. But within each of us is something that wants to flow outward, something that wants to nourish others. Nature also shows us the beauty of cycles. The flower gives its beauty, then fades. The leaves fall and become part of the soil. Nothing is wasted. In the same way, our acts of generosity, no matter how small, become part of something larger. They move forward. They continue, even if we don't see the results. Sometimes we give and wonder, did it matter? But just as a single raindrop feeds the earth, our small actions add up. One kind word may plant a seed in someone's heart. One gentle act may bring comfort to someone we'll never meet again. Living generously does not mean we must give everything away. It means we give naturally, like a tree gives fruit in its season. We give when we can, how we can, with sincerity. And we trust that this is enough. So when we feel unsure how to give, we can turn to nature. We can sit quietly, observe, and learn. The earth gives without speaking. It teaches through stillness. And in that stillness, we remember. We are part of this great giving too. One of the biggest blocks to generosity is fear. We fear we won't have enough. Enough money, enough time, enough energy. This fear can make our hearts feel small and tight. It tells us to hold on, to protect, to wait. But the truth is, fear and generosity cannot live in the same moment. When we give, even a little, we begin to loosen fear's grip. We show ourselves that we are not as limited as we think. We begin to trust that we can give and still be okay. Scarcity is a powerful feeling. Even people with many things can feel they don't have enough. It is not always about what we have. It is often about how we see the world. If we see the world as full of lack, we will always feel empty. But if we begin to see the world as full of small chances to give, we will start to feel full inside. The generous spirit does not wait until everything is perfect. It gives from what is here now. Maybe you don't have money to offer, but you have kindness. Maybe you can't give much time, but you have a smile, or a calm voice, or a helping hand for one moment. These are not small. These are real. Sometimes when we feel afraid, we close ourselves off. We stop looking at others. We focus only on our own worries. But generosity invites us to open again, to look up, to notice that others are also struggling, and to say even quietly, I see you. Let me share what I can. The amazing thing is, when we give in moments of fear, something inside us changes. We begin to feel stronger, not weaker. We feel connected, not alone. We realize that giving is not losing, it is growing. This doesn't mean we should ignore our needs. Taking care of ourselves is also important. But even as we care for ourselves, we can keep a soft place in our hearts for others. We can keep our hands just a little more open. Each time we face fear with generosity, even in a small way, we build courage, we plant hope, and we remind ourselves that life is not about having everything. It is about sharing what we can, with love. Many people believe that freedom comes from having more money, more choices, more control. But on the spiritual path, we discover something different. True freedom begins when we let go, and generosity helps us let go. When we give, we release our tight grip on things. We stop saying, "This is mine," and start saying, "This can be shared." This shift brings a deep sense of peace. We are no longer trapped by our desires, our fears, or our need to hold on. We begin to feel light, open, and free. Giving does not mean losing. It means trusting that we have enough, and that others do too. This trust softens our hearts. It frees us from the constant hunger to get more. The more we give, the less we are controlled by what we own. Inner freedom is not loud. It is quiet and steady. It grows slowly as we make small choices. To share instead of keep. To offer instead of wait. To give instead of protect. These choices shape the way we live. They shape who we are becoming. You may notice that when you give, your mind becomes calm. You stop thinking only of yourself. Your heart expands. You feel more connected to others and less caught in your own thoughts. This is the beginning of true freedom. Not a freedom based on escape, but a freedom based on love. Generosity also teaches us not to fear change. When we give, we are practicing letting go. We are learning how to live with open hands. This helps us face life's ups and downs. We become less afraid of loss, because we have already trained the heart to release. There is a deep joy that comes with this kind of freedom. It's not the joy of getting something new. It's the joy of knowing that we are not owned by our things, our titles, or our plans. We are free to give, free to love, and free to live in the present moment. And that, in the end, is one of the greatest gifts we can offer, not just to others, but to ourselves. But generosity is not something we do once in a while. It is something we return to again and again, like breathing, like walking. It becomes part of how we move through the world, a quiet, steady choice, made with care. There will be times when it feels easy to give. The heart is full, the moment feels right. But there will also be times when it feels hard, when we are tired, when we feel unappreciated, when the world seems cold. Even then, we can practice generosity, not in big, dramatic ways, but in small, sincere ones. This is why it's called a practice. We don't have to get it right every time. We just have to come back to it. When we forget, we begin again. When we feel closed, we breathe and gently open. Over time, this becomes natural, not forced, not heavy, just part of who we are. Generosity is not only about what we give to others, it's also about how we relate to ourselves. Can we be generous with our own mistakes? Can we offer patience to our own journey? When we treat ourselves with kindness, we learn how to treat others with the same spirit. This path is not quick. It is not always clear. But it is deep, and it is full of quiet beauty. With each act of giving, we polish the heart. We create a life that reflects something deeper than personal gain, something timeless. Living generously means being awake to the needs around us. It means choosing to care, even when it's inconvenient. It means staying soft, even in a hard world. And most of all, it means remembering that every day brings new chances to give, new moments to live with open hands. Some days, your act of generosity may feel small, but small is not the same as unimportant. Every drop of water shapes the river. Every kind gesture shapes the world. And every time you choose to give, you shape yourself into someone who brings peace wherever you go. This is the lifelong path, not one of grand actions, but of steady love, quiet giving, gentle strength, a heart that gives simply because it can. As we come to the end of this reflection, I invite you to take a quiet moment. Not to think, but simply to feel. Feel the gentle truth that generosity does not need to be loud to be powerful. It can be silent. It can be simple. And still, it can change everything. We live in a world that often celebrates what is big, fast, and visible. But the spiritual path shows us another way. It reminds us that small acts, done with care, can reach far beyond what we imagine. A kind gesture, a warm glance, a soft word. These are not just nice things. They are sacred offerings. To give without needing attention, to give without needing reward. This is a quiet form of strength. And when enough people live this way, the world begins to feel different, softer, safer, more human. Each of us has something to offer. No matter our age, our situation, or our story, we can begin right where we are. We can give with what we have. A little each day, a little each breath. Not to prove something, but simply because giving feels right. And when we do, we find that we are not alone. We are part of a circle that goes beyond borders, beyond beliefs. A circle of hearts choosing to live with open hands. That is a beautiful thing to be part of. Before we part, I want to say thank you from my heart. If you've taken the time to listen, to reflect, or to share this moment with me, I am truly grateful. To those who have supported this space by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, leaving thoughtful comments, or offering a super thanks, please know that your kindness is deeply appreciated. Each of those gestures helps this message reach others who may need it. And that, too, is a form of giving. May your days be gentle. May your hands stay open. And may the quiet power of generosity guide you always.